the situation today and what we can expect in the future. For this, we have a panel of distinguished speakers that will be shortly introduced by our moderator, who I would like to briefly introduce now before I leave the floor. Philip Morga will be moderating today's session. Philip is a senior consultant at SG, at Switzerland Global Enterprise, relying on previous experiences working for various SMEs as a business developer and as a strategy and marketing consultant. Philip has gathered significant expertise in international markets and is now accompanying young entrepreneurs into their ventures in new markets. So as mentioned, Philip will be moderating today's session and will be introducing our distinguished panelists. I will now leave the floor and wish you all a fruitful discussion and hope to see you soon again. Philip, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Arpad, for the introduction. Hello, everyone, also from my side, and a warm welcome. I'm honored to be the moderator for today. And as Arpad already said, we are talking about e-commerce today. And when we look back to 2020, it was a very special year in many respects. It has been a long time since one topic held the entire world in suspense for such a long time. When we look at the business world, COVID-19 saw one very big development, the rise of e-commerce. In Switzerland, e-commerce suddenly became not just a possibility, but for many products, the only way how you can buy them. In the meantime, things have somewhat returned a bit to normal, but something didn't change. E-commerce has done anything but losing its significance. It's still the relevant channel to buy products or even services. Now we want to take a closer look at where e-commerce is standing today in Turkey and how it is evolving. Before I introduce today's speakers, please be aware of that I unfortunately do not speak Turkish, so please excuse me for any wrong pronunciations of names or company names. I hope I soon can improve those abilities by visiting your wonderful country again. It's my privilege to introduce you to today's speakers. And just as a side mark, before I do that, please feel free to put any questions which you have in the chat box. They will be answered during this webinar. First, we have Emre Ekmekci. He's the president of the Turkish E-Commerce Association. He also serves as an independent board member at Migros Turk AS. He was the president and CCO of Hepsiburada and the president at Dogan Online Group. He's also a pioneer in the daily deal business in Turkey. He launched the Groupon Turkish operations. Emre served for 8 years as at a leading full-service marketing agency in Los Angeles, California, focusing on global business development. He also worked in Chicago, Hong Kong, Shanghai, London, and Paris. Emre has an MBA with honors from Columbia Business School and a bachelor degree, Industrial and System Engineering from University of Southern California. He's married and has one daughter. Then we have Irfan Nalceci. He's the CEO of Konyali Sat AS and board member of Urban Control AS and Bakal 24 AS. Those are group companies dealing in control systems, access control and parking systems, sports timing systems, and professional food and drinking machines. He started his career with working in all departments of Konyali 1951 group of companies. There he gained many experiences in all details of the watch sector until coming to his current position. Last but not least, we have Ramazan Altinay. He was at the Executive Development Unit of Sambanci University, and he studied civil engineering at Yildiz Technical University. He worked for different logistic companies such as TNT Express and Havli Logistics. Since 2013, he's the Chief Supply Chain Officer at N11.com. But now I would like to give the microphone over to Emre Ekmekci, who gives us a brief overview about the Turkish e-commerce market. Emre, please.
Sure. Thank you, Philip, for that introduction, and thank you everyone for listening to us. Like Philip mentioned, e-commerce has been a significant part of both the consumers' lives, but also businesses' strategy over the past year and a half. E-commerce has always been a spotlight in businesses' lives and an inspirational strategic initiative. But with COVID-19, it became a commercially essential business to look into. And the same thing applies all around the world, but specifically for Turkey, I will give some examples. Right, prior to the whole COVID situation, e-commerce in Turkey has been growing around 35% on an annual basis, and the share of e-commerce within the Turkish overall trade was single digits, around 7 to 8% of overall commerce. With the and prior to COVID, we had 70,000 small medium enterprises selling their goods online. These are all official Turkish Ministry of Trade numbers. But with the COVID, what has happened is two things in the Turkish market. One is obviously the consumers from a demand side need, from a necessity perspective, from a need perspective, needed to consume, right? They have their needs. Kids are doing their education online. We're all at home, but that doesn't mean our consumption stops. It moved more towards things that we need around the house, do-it-yourself products, stationery, whatever it is, supermarket, whatever you may need to continue your lifestyle. So the consumers naturally looked into online to get these necessity purchases. But at the same time, businesses who had their physical selling points, physical outlets being closed or not having enough foot traffic coming in, had to reach the consumers that are more contained online, more contained in their at their homes. And the only way they could actually reach them was through these online channels. So what had happened in Turkey was the number of sellers online prior to COVID went from 70,000 to 270,000. So from a supply side, it had almost more than tripled, right? Almost quadrupled. At the same time, the bigger brands, right? Almost all the local and international brands have realized that digital should be a digital transformation, and an e-commerce transformation should be high on their agenda. So what we call shopping mall brands have also, brands with so many retail shops have also started investing heavily in their omni-channel methods. So these combined, so both the supply side of big brands, merchants coming on board, as well as the consumers wanting to buy more, had put us in almost a doubling of the e-commerce market in the year 2020. Obviously, there were categories like travel, airline tickets that were mostly bought online have reached, have gone almost to zero in hotel bookings to travel bookings. So in average, the market grew 65%. But what the market for moving physical goods, we estimate that it has grown 100%. And in the Turkish overall e-commerce metrics, the share of e-commerce had at December 2020 had reached 19.3% of overall commerce. And with more shops opening, obviously the share is going to drop, but the overall volume of e-commerce has reached more than 230 billion Turkish liras. So there has been a significant share of the economy that has been digitized. But e-commerce as itself, e-commerce also grew its surroundings, we could say, right? Its ecosystem. So now we see a lot more delivery companies, a lot more payment companies, customer service businesses. So the auxiliary businesses around the e-commerce has also grown, because the capacity of the Turkish delivery network has already been overwhelmed with e-commerce deliveries. More than 60% of the Turkish logistics deliveries are e-commerce deliveries right now. And with the market growing much faster than what the logistics companies can handle, we see a lot new startups. We see e-commerce players coming up with their own delivery companies to compensate for that growth. So it has been a very unfortunate, but at the same time fortunate year for e-commerce, because prior to COVID, everyone was talking about, okay, yes, we should do e-commerce, but it was a lot of talk, but not action. Unfortunately, it was unfortunate that an event like COVID had to trigger this transformation, but we saw a lot of infrastructure being invested in, which will fuel the growth for e-commerce for the next couple of years in Turkey. So we're looking at a not slowing down of e-commerce for the next 5 years. And one more reason for this growth is also Turkey has a very high population of youth. So between the ages of 15 to 25, I think there's more than 12 million people, right? Which this population, this 12 million people will become of consumption age in the next 5 years, right? They will get married, they will have kids, they will go to schools, right? And all they know right now is to consume online, right? They know they're getting their education online, they're consuming music online, they're consuming, they're getting their friendship made online. So it would be very natural for them to do purchases when they actually make their own purchases, to do their first choice to be online. And that 12 million or 10 to 12 million is you could say a couple of European Union countries combined, or overall population of those countries combined. So it's a very big market growth that is expected, that everyone is actually betting on. With that, I will stop, and then we can maybe talk a little later as well.
Thank you very much, Emre, for this very interesting insights, and how you pointed out the development which not only happened in e-commerce but also in the surroundings. I guess that's extremely valuable also for our discussion afterwards. Now I would like to give the microphone to Irfan. Please give us your view on the latest development of e-commerce in Turkey. You still should unmute yourself.
Sorry, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Have a nice day. So when I invited to that webinar of TRCH, which I am proud to be a member of the board 2 times in the past years. So there are 2 experts here, Emre and Ramazan. So I will stay in a more narrow perspective, which we will use this session to a little bit explain e-commerce side of the watch business. We as Konyalı doing watch distribution almost 70 years, one of the well-known companies, and then a wholesale distribution in the nationwide through about 350 watch retailers and jewelers. So Sevda, she used to send me some topics. I will stay within the topics, but more emphasizing what we do within e-commerce. So who are the winners and losers in the watch business, in the e-commerce during the pandemic? Definitely one of the losers was jewelers and watch retailing, while they're raising DIY electronics. But from our side, we lost business overall in the physical market. So then mostly moved to the e-commerce, which is developed. Within the e-commerce side, we know the jewelry business, say in UK, will drop about 23%, which is about 10 billion value euro, which is expected and will continue like this. However, there are challenges. Now in Turkey, within watch business, maybe also in other sector, we know that in China or in Europe or worldwide, e-commerce is a convenient shopping styling, while in Turkey, it is cheap or discounted. So this is the most important approach we have to overcome through the pandemic. And we have made ourselves to more concentrate on those issues. And instead of selling discounted or cheap products, create a value and provide e-commerce buyers apart from the pricing. So we know that the e-commerce will grow around 50% in the past 2 or 3 years. This is for sure. So what we are doing, so most markets are growth, and from our side, we do a medium to high segment watches and the luxury segment, which are 2 different segments, and where there are, of course, competition. So in the luxury segment, this is very difficult. Only a specialist can do that. In Turkey also, there are few doing, and in the world. For the luxury market, there is nothing to do with the price. Luxury product is something you buy apart from your basic needs. So this is something with your lifestyling, so on. So that's why in the e-commerce, luxury must be within a specialist. Otherwise, the genuinity of the product, the firm delivery of the product, the pricing issues comes very much sensitive. So this is the thing the buyers need to really pay attention on this. So competitors and positioning is very important for in our business. So one of the questions was saying, what was the biggest selling point in e-commerce for consumer goods in a world with many global competitors selling similar products? So this is mainly our case. Of course, price is the most important thing, as I say, because in Turkey, people, they are looking for competitive price or cheap shopping instead of convenient shopping. So we decided and we made the difficult one. So try to push our Konyalı buyers for a convenient and quality shopping. What we did, of course, with several others, we made a good selection of product, value for money. We made good packaging. We made giftings. We kept a strong brand image of our brands. Very good after-sales service was very important. We put suitable products for every important days like New Year, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Father's Day, school periods, and choose our dealers where in online or marketplaces who are having a good score, and not to keep low score ones or ask them to make a better performance. So that was what we have done. And we, of course, we supported this with the customer experience. And what we did, we, of course, helped, the thing helped very much with our online to offline, because we have 350 points of sales in nationwide from Istanbul to Hakkari. So any e-commerce consumer may buy through online of Konyalı, but can get served through those 350 points of sales with adjustment of his watch or strap or whatever. So that was a big advantage, what we have used. We provided extended warranty with a very reasonable cost. And to bring out the brand, of course, we made some supported, which we have been doing for 7 years, social responsibility project, which we are not really screaming around, but now it is the case. We started a project which is saying that no school will be kept without Najar clock, which we started with almost 165 schools in east of Turkey. We started from there and donated them 1,800 clocks, and we keep continuing. And the idea was that to show the youngster the precious, the value of the time, because since you born until you die, you need time and date. So that was one of the things we had. And we did sponsorships to push there on the public areas, you know, clocks around the train stations, airports, and those are also supported very much. What we have done so far. So maybe I leave to Ramazan a little bit, being the expert in marketplaces, and further, if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer.
Great, thanks a lot, Irfan, for those very interesting insights about what it takes to be able to sell luxury goods on e-commerce. That it's not just selling; there's a lot beside you do. That was very interesting insights. And yeah, now I would like to give the microphone to Ramazan. Please share us your insights about e-commerce, especially in luxury goods.
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, I will start with a presentation. I am sharing a presentation. It's come out of that. You can see the presentation or not?
Perfect, yes.
Okay. First, I will start to inform about the elnevun.com and how we will manage our operations in Turkey, how we will create a partnership with Swiss brands in our platform or in our market. Firstly, elnevun.com as a marketplace draws the partnership from Doğuş Group and SK Group. SK Group, one of the biggest group in South Korea, and Doğuş Group, one of the biggest group in Turkey. And I said that it is a marketplace We have hundreds of thousands of the stores in our system and almost 20 million products in our platform. What you need in your life, you can supply in our platform: clothing, home and living, and sport and outdoors, electronics. What you need, you can order from our platform. And also we are giving our support to our sellers, our business partners on the field. We have 7 support centers to all of the Turkey. We are giving the free photo shooting, guiding, and we are answering their questions about their business. And also, what is our must in Elevon.com? Firstly, we will support the original products. If you want to sell any product in our system, it should be, of course, original. We are giving the live support, and we are securing your personal data, payment protection system, and user-oriented services. We have some of the brands. Gibi Moda, this is the fashion platform, and Market 11, this is providing the online grocery shipping, and 11 Pro, this is the B2B platform, and Garage 11, buying and selling second-hand vehicles. You can sell your second-hand vehicles in that platform. Of course, this is another important side, customer experience. And we are giving the advantageous prices. Also, previous persons mentioned that price is important in the e-commerce, and of course, personalized discount. We are giving coupons and product and campaign announcement, and we are giving also location-based discount. We have thousands of the sellers all of the Turkey. Depends on your location, you can give some of the discount from our platform. And of course, we are giving another advantage to our customers. Of course, easy return. This is the most important point for e-commerce. 14 days unconditional return opportunity. This is the rules in Turkey, but I thought that it is affected all of the e-commerce market positively, because if you buy anything from e-commerce in the Turkey, you know that I can send it back easily in 14 days, and it is affected all of the e-commerce market positively. And also we are giving the live support, WhatsApp or web chat, and we are also giving some of the imported product. We have also not only from the Turkish sellers, we have also some of the Chinese sellers, USA sellers from our system. Some of the Chinese sellers directly listed their product in our platform, and our customer can order the products from our system. They pay all of the payments. They use all of our payment system, and the Chinese product directly sent the orders to our customer. We will handle all of the logistics and customs process in Turkey, and we will deliver the product from China to our customers' doors in Turkey. Also, we have some of the sellers from USA, and the USA sellers, same situation, they listed their product in our platform, and we will handle all of the logistics and customs process from being the endpoint for our customers. And we delivered without any problem in generally 15 days. Maybe not now, maybe next days, depends on our supply demand. Maybe we will open a channel from Swiss to Turkey. Maybe some of the Swiss person, they will Swiss brands, maybe they will list their products in our platform, and we will create a logistics channel from Swiss to Turkey, and we will handle that operation. Maybe it will be opportunity, it will be benefit for all of us and all our platform. And of course, we are the advantage secure shipping system, because this is the important point. We give a guarantee all of our customers payment protection system. And of course, we have some of the innovative CRM application and directly estimating the next purchase our customers, and automatic learning or algorithm accordingly developing the suggestion and discount. And also we providing the additional mobile focus opportunities. And of course, we are giving some of the business partners, they can directly open their shops in our system, and they don't need to anything the integration, payment system, logistics system. We are giving all of the payment systems or logistic contracts, and also they can sell all of the products to 18 over the 18 cities in Turkey. And we are giving also trainings to our sellers online, not offline, not now, but we are giving generally online. For example, this year we are giving over 300 webinars and trainings, and the participant number over the 40,000 in our system. And also we are giving the additional advantage for our business partner. For example, 11 Faturam, this is the document platform, e-fatura, e-invoice system. Also another advantage, 11 Mağazam, they can establish their site easily in a day with their system. Also, we are giving also data center system, 11 Cloud. We are giving all of the services for our business partners. Also, we are giving from export Turkey to some of the countries. We started Azerbaijan and Cyprus, and we will extend the business area for our sellers. They can export their products easily near the Turkey. For example, we will start the MENA, and we are creating collaboration with some of the marketplace in Russia and some of the European countries. They can sell easily their product from Turkey to other countries. Of course, we are giving communication to all of the areas, TV commercial, social media, brand collaboration, and this is the important point for our system. We are using all of the communication for our sellers and buyers, the important point in our system. This is our presentation. Also, I want to give information to how we will sell our Swiss brand in our platform. I say in my presentation also, maybe we will create a channel from Swiss to Turkey for B2C. Directly they can list their product in our system. Depends on the supply and demand. And other side, of course, Irfan Bey knows better than us, but maybe they can find a wholesaler in Turkey as a B2B operation. They can create a collaboration with a Turkish company, and they can send all of the products as a B2B in Turkey Turkish wholesaler, or they can open a branch in Turkey as again a B2B platform, a B2B operation. And also we are giving some of the warehouse services in Turkey, and also so many logistic companies, they can give from beginning to end point logistics operation, logistics services in Turkey. They can manage easily in their operation from Swiss to Turkey. I thought that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramazan, for this interesting insights, and also for showing what are the opportunities for Swiss companies then to start selling in Turkey. Now I would like to open up the discussion with all of you. We already received several questions. The topic seems to be really interesting for our audience. Let me start first with a question to Emre. Quite a broad question. One of the audience asked, what is the expected trend on e-commerce after the pandemic?
Sure. This is a question in everybody's mind, right? Basically, was the pandemic a big bubble, and then is everything going to go back to normal? Well, even if it goes back to normal for e-commerce in Turkey was 35% year-over-year growth, right? So it's for sure is not going to go below that. But since we now have much faster delivery networks, a lot more companies wanting to sell online, and a lot of companies who have transformed themselves to become very good omnichannel players. From a supply perspective, we don't expect the growth to go down, right? And from a consumer perspective, I don't expect, the consumers obviously are, there is an expectation that immediately following the opening up the first couple of months, that the online consumption is going to go down. For necessities, this is not the case, right? For things that are more commodity purchases, I call them boring purchases, right? Buying a watch is not a boring purchase. Like, so if you're buying from Konya Lasat, it's an experience, right? So, but if you're doing some boring purchases, some necessity purchases, those will the convenience of that is going to let the consumers continue to buy online.
Thank you, Emre, for these insights. And I guess you also mentioned in your presentation the big amount of young people in Turkey, which really now get used to this kind of shopping experience. I guess that will also have a big impact on the further development. We also have a second question, which is closely related a bit, looking into the future. And I would like to ask Ramazan this question. What kind of new ways do you expect in delivering goods? The person from the audience mentioned that maybe drones could play a role. You, with your logistical background, what do you think is future development in that area?
Yeah, drone is as of today it is not realistic in Turkey. I thought that oftenly, but of course we can create a differentiation for our sellers. For example, in the beginning of our operation, maybe 5 or 6 years later, we say that if we don't have any problem in cargo, we can deliver in 2 days or 3 days. It is okay for us. But now orders will be delivered in a same day, maybe in 3 hours, maybe in 30 seconds. So that we need to change so many things in delivery side. We are starting in Turkey, I thought that. Now we are giving the same day delivery, and also generally our delivery days lower than 1 day. But of course, we can change so many things for our customers. For example, now in grocery, we are giving them in 30 minutes delivery time. But for example, 2 years before, we said it is okay. Next day it should be acceptable. Maybe drone not is today will be successful, but it will be 3 years later, maybe 5 years later, it should be. But and also customer delivery experience is important. For example, our customer, they want to know when it will be delivery, in today or 2 hours later, on what time, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and they want to track our delivery cars on their phones, so that we need to change so many things in our system, and we are doing. I thought that it will be better every day in the e-commerce system.
Thank you, Ramazan, for those explanations. Now, I have, let's say, a combination of 2 or 3 questions to Irfan. Someone from the audience asked about how do you create customer loyalty online, and how do you create a customer experience in e-commerce? And I could assume with your brand that is quite relevant. What are you doing in this field?
First of all, you need to provide to the consumer a good product, which is we call value for money. But within the watch business, I should say that the frequency of shopping is not frequent. So although we have a multi-brand policy, how many times you buy a watch in a year? What is the frequency? So the customer loyalty in our business, watch business, is a long years trust on the brand. But again, what we do, we build up the customer experience with the continuity of the business, with the quality, fast servicing, online to offline services, which within 2 years or within 5 years, which with extended warranty, they can go to any point of sales we have around the country and get his service for a watch, for his battery, for scratch glass, or for strap change, whatever. So this is the approach from watch retailing side, I would say.
Philip, you are mute.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you, Irfan, for this. It just explained I was yesterday in my watch shop, had to do a repair, and it was one of the few things which I do physically and not in e-commerce these days. So fully can follow your experience. Maybe for Ramazan, also the same question. How do you create the customer experience on your platform?
This is the important point for our platform, because we are open for all of the customers. For example, all of the business partners, they have a score in our system, and we show all of the day score to our customer. For example, it is beginning from beginning of the operation, we are giving the 100 score. Depends on our business partners' performance. It will be keep 100, or it will be decrease 98, 95, 90, and 80. If it will be decrease the lower 90, their orders affected directly negatively. For example, in our system, 90% of orders came from over the 90 score of the sellers. That means that if your points, it is lower than 90 points in our system, our customer, they cannot order from your shops in our system. This is the general situation in e-commerce market. How we will calculate the score depends on your performance. For example, you send your orders in a time, because you are saying I will send the order next day. It is okay. What about your package? What about your comment? Because after the orders, our customer giving some of the comment. It is positive or negative. What about your question? Our customer, they can ask the question in our system in a live. You have to answer the question in a short time, in a day or in 12 hours. And we are what about your rejections? For example, you take some of the order, you can reject because you have some of the stock problem. For example, rejection, late shipment, package problem, delivery problem, all of the process it will be affected your points negatively. So that if you want to sustainable operation or sustainable business in e-commerce system, firstly, your performance will be perfect, because average performance, it is not acceptable in our system or for our customers. All of the e-commerce, they are waiting more. They are waiting more performance in our system. And of course, other side, you can create a differentiation with your picture, with your content. If other side, they cannot choose your product in the millions of the products. So that it is important, you can create some of the differentiation, content, picture, videos, also price, of course, it is important. And also maybe you can create some of the differentiation with your product. You can some things, you can create differentiation with your customers. If you create good performance, good price, and create some of the content differentiation, it will be successful. I thought that.
Thank you. I guess you explained very well once again, like that it's not just selling nowadays. You need to be aware of all those elements in addition, and then customer experience is a very important element. Let's stay a moment with the marketplaces, and I have a question to you, Emre. Someone from the audience is asking, first of all, like, do Turkish customers prefer to buy locally, or do they prefer to buy internationally in e-commerce? And a bit related to this, do you have a chance against all the big international players like Amazon and Alibaba in the Turkish e-commerce market?
Okay, I think that's a two-part question, right? One is, do Turkish consumers buy from websites abroad? Yes, they do, but it's not a significant majority of the Turkish online purchase, right? Yes, they buy from AliExpress, they buy from Amazon Europe, Amazon US, they buy cross-border. But every cross-border inbound transaction into Turkey is subject to customs regulations, right? So it's subject to 20% tax, and you have to pay the tax on it. So there's a process, and from a trust perspective, there's always, okay, is it really going to show up, right? So if you buy something from AliExpress from China, it's usually something very, very small that you don't care about the 20 days, 30 days, the delivery time. So from that perspective, local players have an advantage, right? Local players play for the hourly delivery concept, more precision delivery. Now, when it comes to global big players are already locally operating in the Turkish market. eBay has been here more than 15 years. And 11 is actually a 50% joint venture of Korea's biggest e-commerce player, 11th Street, right? So it is already here. Amazon.com.tr has launched a couple of years ago. So Amazon is here with its local presence. Alibaba bought a controlling share in Trendyol, and Hepsiburada is doing its IPO in Nasdaq. So all of these players you could call are international players, you know, trying to get into the Turkish market. So it's already a hot market, growing market. So there's always been foreign investment. Now there have been foreign players who have not been successful. You know, Rocket Internet came in, Naspers came in with their investment, but had to exit because they didn't execute to their expectations. So it is not a winner takes all type of a market just yet.
Thank you, Emre, for pointing out this. Irfan, I think you before still wanted to add something. Please.
Yeah, not really add, but I may have a question to Ramazan. So about the regulations, if they have any feedback information for us. We know that the easy return process is something helping very much to the buyer in the e-commerce. However, the marketplaces do not have high-scale responsibility on that. That happens frequently within the watch business. We are hearing from the market. Of course, return is the right of the consumer. They buy something, so it is not expected quality, and it is returned, and it is not the case for watches only. So the marketplaces obviously reply that, so this is the fault of the supplier, the shop owner, so you need to make your claim. Of course, the consumer makes the claim to the marketplace, but it goes to the shop owner. So at that level, marketplaces still do not have the high level responsibility on that business side. So how they foresee, do they support that kind of more strict regulations comes so that they can check their online shop owners on scoring basis?
Of course, Irfan Bey knows the situation in Turkey. This is the regulation of the government. This is the 14 days without any problem. You can send back what you ordered from the e-commerce. You don't need to say anything. You say directly, I don't want to do it. This is enough in the course. So that if we have a problem, if we have a between sellers and our customer, depends on our return process. Of course, we have some of the budget, and we how can I say, we consider the situation. Sometimes we use that budget for our customers. Sometimes we use that budget for our sellers. Of course, we have some of the budget, but of course, you cannot pay all of the station. If they don't agree about the return payment process, for example, our sellers sometimes cannot accept the return. That time, of course, we involve the station and we use that budget to complete the return process. Also, of course, sometimes customers send back some of the products with problem, but they go to the court, directly our consumer court, accept all of the station. We know in Turkey, so that I agree, this is the hard situation to manage for our sellers in our platform, but we consider this situation. What percentage you have returned? What percentage? This is the important point. I thought that when I checked in our system, maximum 2% of the return. Some of the, of course, fashion side 10, but electronic side lower 1. I don't know the watch time watching situation, but the important side as a shop. What about your return percentage? Every shop depends on the operational process, packaging, delivery time, or assembly time. They have different return percentage. You have to calculate your return percentage, and you can add your price, or you can manage depends on your return percentage in your shops or in your business. This is the important side, because, for example, in the same category, one of the sellers, they have 5% of the return, other one lower 1%. What is the differentiation? Differentiation is how they manage their operation. They send their product in a time, what they give their words. What about their packages? And what about their communication with their customers? Because the customer firstly they take the orders or product. Firstly, they contact our sellers. If they manage that process easily, they cannot create a return generally. So that important side, how they manage their operations. This is differentiation. I thought that.
Thanks a lot. I think the whole process of sending back and how it's handled, it's extremely important for the customer, especially when you have rules which allow it to the customer to do that without giving a reason. We're almost running out of the time. I have one important last question which I would like to give to Emre, and all the other questions which are not answered yet. There are still maybe 2-3 open questions. We will answer them in written form. So please send it to the email address which we'll put into the chat, and then you'll get an answer on that one as well. So Emre, please, the question for you, looking a bit into the future, especially the near future, do you see any changes coming, for example, about regulations which could influence the e-commerce business in Turkey?
Well, we follow the European Union regulations very closely, right? So a lot of what is happening with marketplaces in European Union, payment processes in European Union, we actually, sometimes we laugh, but we do Google Translate and then make them and turn them into laws. So from that perspective, I think the Payment System Directive 2, which regulates the payment companies, marketplaces with payment companies, that is up for discussion, right? So some of the onboarding of merchants and who you're processing payments for would be an area of discussion. So that is heard to be coming. Well, one thing that is happening in the Turkish market right now is the competition authority is looking into all of the market to understand what it is, and it's never good news when an antitrust body looks into the industry. So there are many things around there about fair treatment of merchants, fair treatment within the overall e-commerce. So we'll see what comes off of that. But Turkey actually has very favorable consumer rights and very favorable e-commerce structure. We actually have Turkey has a department of e-commerce within the trade ministry. So it's always good to have at least a governing body that you can talk to, rather than talking to hundreds of different bureaucrats in the government. At least you have one government body that speaks your language, which is always good.
Thanks for those closing words, Emre, and I would like to thank all of you, Ramazan, Irfan, and Emre, for those very interesting insights. As Emre just said, it's always good to have a person to talk to you. And I think in this last hour, we saw your 3 very profound experts in Turkish e-commerce. And it was a pleasure to have you in this round. And I would like to give now the word back to Yasmin. Thank you.
Do you hear me? Yes. Okay. First of all, on behalf of the Swiss Business Hub Turkey and the Swiss Chamber of Commerce in Turkey, a big thank you to our moderator, Philip, and to our distinguished speakers for their valuable contributions. And I would also like to thank our audience for their participation and the several questions which come up in the chat box. Thank you very much for this fruitful discussion. Today, we gained a better understanding of the Turkish e-commerce market and got some ideas about how to start selling in the Turkish e-commerce market. And before we close today's session, I would like to hand over our small gifts to our moderator and speakers, Philip Morga, Emre Ekmekci, Irfan Alcacı, and Ramazan Altınay. We donate it to WWF in your name, and we will send you the certificates by mail after this webinar. This was our final Swiss-Turkish webinar before the start of the holiday season. Stay healthy and enjoy the summer. Hope to see you again in autumn. And yes, thank you again for your great support, and have a nice day and rest of the week.
Thank you, Yasemin. Thank you, Philip.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.